Hey yo, Moods, you looking forward to that business retreat? I mean vacation? It's not a vacation, asshole.
I came to express the rap I'm manifest.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to episode 40 here on my random horror review series. I am your host Mood616 and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, episode 40 is here and I've got another one here for Midnight Releasing. First film from 2016. I'm very stoked about this because in my opinion Midnight Releasing / Brain Damage Films had a pretty good year last year. You know, they had a lot of really good films that they put out, so big ups to Midnight. But yeah, this one right here, I didn't know anything about, and doing a quick little read on the synopsis, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into with this one. I wasn't really too sure which way it was going to go. Of course, so this one's saying it's from 2015, first media release in 2016, and it is entitled Silent Retreat. Now, when I first saw this in the post, I thought that it could be another film that was released by Black Fawn Distribution last year with the same title of Silent Retreat. Upon, you know, scanning through and reading the synopsis, it was actually not the same film. So that was kind of a relief. But getting into the synopsis of Silent Retreat, it's basically about a group of co-workers who head out to this isolated cabin in the woods for a business retreat. You know, upon arriving out at this cabin, one of the girls, she actually ends up going missing, and everyone's, you know, obviously pretty concerned that she's gone missing. They give it like 24 hours. In the meanwhile, or they give it about 24 hours before they start to go and hunt for her and stuff, because, you know, apparently she might just be out there hanging out with the groundskeeper or whatever. But nobody's really too sure. They're not really overly that worried at first. But then, you know, as she's gone, some of the other employees and stuff, they start figuring out things about this lodge. One of the girls soon realizes that that this place used to be a mental institution that was closed down and things like that. And, you know, so now they start to look for this girl that's gone missing, and of course they start getting picked off one by one. Yeah, and that's the premise of the film. Now, my thoughts on this one. Yeah, you know, it's basically what it says right on the back, you know, the quick little synopsis. Now, I wasn't sure which way this was going to go. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a slasher film, if it was going to be like a ghostly. I had really no idea. Essentially, it's kind of neither. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting film. I will say that it's quite the slow burn. Really, things don't start to pick up until, you know, 45, 50 minutes into the film. It does run your pretty average 90 minutes. And, you know, it is quite the slow burn, and I have to say that there's lots of character development with these characters. You get to know them quite well. For the most part, the characters are quite likable. There's one character in the film, he's the comic relief. Of course, he has quite a bitter relationship with, you know, kind of the hot girl, the slutty girl. So they kind of bicker at each other. But for the most part, the characters in this film are quite likable all around. The acting is actually pretty solid all around. I think for the most part by the leads. I think with some of the flashbacks, which I won't get into, and things like that, I think the acting is a little shaky at times. But, you know, most of the leads do a really good job in this film and stuff too. And it's actually shot pretty well also. You know, I wasn't sure like exactly what the budget was on this film because it does look bigger than their possible budget. I have no idea. I'm assuming it's a you know, a really low budget film, but it does look pretty good. And I always like those isolated cabin type, you know, settings and things like that. It does create kind of a unique atmosphere because it's just, you're isolated, you feel like you're alone, and I think they did capture that quite well in this one. But I will say, you know, there is some pretty obvious foreshadowing in the film too, in my opinion. You know, I didn't really think it was, you know, I mean, it's very easy to catch. You know, all you have to do is just kind of listen to stuff. If you watch a lot of these films, you'll catch on to it right away, and you're like, okay, that's kind of funny. But, you know, for the most part, I think the script was pretty good in this one. Actually, it was going pretty straightforward and things like that, and then a twist happens at the end, which I did not see happening. And I give them big props for that because, you know, generally I'm trying to figure out these things, and I'm kind of going, okay, it can go this way, it can go this way. It went neither of those ways. It was a pretty cool twist. I did enjoy it. But, you know, this one, I really think that it kind of lacked in a little bit of gore and stuff like that. There's not really a lot of effects in this one. Some people do get picked off and stuff. But there's one kill in this one that I will say that really did It was awesome. It was a really good kill. It was interesting. It was kind of interesting how it happened. And it's something I've really never seen in a film before, but besides that one scene, there's not really a whole lot of blood and gore in this one. So if that's what you're kind of looking for, you're not really going to get it and things like that. But yeah, I really did enjoy this one. At first I was confused, not like confused in the story, but I was just like, hey, where's this thing kind of going and stuff. But it was a decent watch. In the end, I was very satisfied from what I've seen. And yeah, Silent Retreat, don't really want to give too much more about the film because you can't really without ruining anything. But yeah, I did enjoy this one. If I had to rate this one, I'm going to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I think it's worth the watch. It really is definitely worth the watch. It surprised me actually because, with these type of films, you kind of read the synopsis on the back and it sounds it sounds really basic, but, with this one, I was glad it took me somewhere else and I enjoyed it. For the most part, the script is pretty good, like I said. I think there is a couple minor plot holes in it, but at the same time, I think if you disconnect yourself from, put yourself into this world, I think it doesn't really matter too much. But for the most part, pretty well done film. I'll give a pass on this one, 6.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't really want to say anything else, but definitely give this one a shot for midnight releasing. And yeah, actually, this one right here, I was going to say, it does have some special features on it. It has a couple of interviews, and it has auto commentary with the writer and director, Ace Jordan, who directed this film, which is pretty cool because, I would actually like to know a little bit more about certain things in the film. So, if you're interested, check out the commentary too. So, but yeah, Silent Retreat, that's going to do it for episode 40 here on my random horror review series. I will check you guys in episode 41. And you know what? I'll see you then. Peace out, homies. Hey, yo, Mood, you looking forward to that business... Hey, yo, Mood, you looking forward to that business retreat? It's going to be an awesome vacation, eh? Liars must be punished.